welcome back. My name is Sheldon McLeod, and this is Thinking Out Loud, presented to you here on the SaltWire Network. Feed Nova Scotia, ways to help this holiday season. There's certainly a lot of interest in making the most of this season by giving to others. I thought it was interesting. I read a survey that said for people who identify as being religious, that they are much more likely to give money to charity, much more likely to donate their time to charity. And we're in that time of the year where we talk a lot about the spirit of the season. Nick Jennery has been very much a part of Feed Nova Scotia's trajectory since he took over as executive director, and he's here with me now. And happy holidays to you, Nick Jennery.
Happy holidays to you, Sheldon. Thanks for calling in.
What can you tell me about demand? I'm hearing from other charitable organizations that the demand on their services is way up.
Well, I would characterize it that the demand is as high as it's ever been. Right now, we've got 45,000 Nova Scotians being supported by some 80-odd food banks. But alarmingly, there are 300 new clients being supported every week. So 300 new people entering into the system. Another way to look at it, that on any one day, there's 1,100 people being supported by food banks. This time of year, we also run a Christmas registry in HRM. And we've just hit over the 20,000 people mark. So that's over 20,000 people registered for food and gift card support, which is the highest ever we've ever seen.
Have you been able to find more volunteers?
We are truly blessed by having no shortage of volunteers. We have our regular volunteers who come in, week out, right throughout the year. But this time of year, we also get a number of associations, organizations, companies, people who want to donate their time, either at a company level or in an individual level, to help build food orders and get food out the door. So we're very lucky to have lots of volunteers.
With that in mind, if it's very busy, that's got to be taxing on the people that are there doing this work.
Well, it is. We start our Christmas program back in the beginning of October, and it's really heads down right through to December 24th. Right now, I see the staff and volunteers are essentially working on fumes. They're just trying to get across that finish line. And the hard thing is that everybody who works here, either volunteers or staff, they give up a piece of their own Christmas. They don't get to join in the fun of the celebrations and the preparations that go into this time of year. So I'm truly grateful for not only what they do and how they do it, but for giving up a piece of their own Christmas to be able to give back to others in our community.
We have spoken many times over the years, and this idea that food banks are temporary is kind of a quaint little notion, but we're at a point now where unprecedented demand on services because of inflation, food inflation. Another 11% jump year over year is what Statistics Canada is recording today. When we look at that, I'm hearing more demand, but fewer donations for some. I don't know if that's the case for you folks.
Food donations are down, but fortunately, the community has been very generous in helping us both not only with food, but also with cash. And of course, cash allows us the choice to buy the foods that people really need. But what we see this time of year, there's a magic going on within Feed Nova Scotia. You see food drives, birthday money coming in from, small kids, clients who say, you know what, I'm going to give my turkey back so you can give it to somebody else. We get organizations like, firefighters, Rotary, the building trades, associations, unions. So many people have donated not only time, but also cash to help us get food to the people who really need it. And those people are also helping us sort food. So one of the things that warms my heart is seeing parents and grandmothers and grandfathers come in with their kids to create an on-site giving experience for their sons and daughters, nieces and nephews. And we also have people doing deliveries, right across HRM. And it's just a wonderful to see all that support coming from the community.
And I guess to that point, this is a very busy time of the year. And as you've explained in the past, cash goes a lot further than food donations, but food prices are way up. Has that impacted the buying power for Feed Nova Scotia?
Oh, absolutely. When you see the price of diesel, every penny that the price of diesel goes up, it adds another $1,000 to our expense line. In terms of food, yes, I mean, we get to buy at wholesale because we're buying this year about $1.5 million worth of food to supplement all of those food donations that come in from retail, from people's community food drives, etc. But we can't buy as much with our dollar as we used to. So we're in the same situation as everybody else. So that's why those donations that come in are so important, and that allows us in aggregate to deliver over $1 million worth of food each and every month. That's the value of the food going out the door to those 140 organizations that we support across the province.
So not to get political about the food companies, but there's some criticism about profits and that. How is that relationship? What is it that the major food companies do to support Feed Nova Scotia?
Well, all of the large retailers are very generous to us. So we have a well-oiled machine and logistics to pick up surplus food that's in the pipeline. We also pick them up from farmers, and the farmers have been year in, year out, very generous in donating their surplus crops. And if we can make use of it, which we do, that allows us to deliver over 50% of everything that goes out the door are fresh fruits and vegetables. So the retailers do a big job in giving us their surplus food, but of course, they're a for-profit business, and they're trying to minimize the amount of surplus food. So, it's a very much a juggling game because we don't know how much food is coming in the door, but we do know there are organizations that are 100% dependent on us delivering food each and every day.
So now I'll get 100% political. What support are you given from governments?
Well, we receive one-time checks from government from time to time. We got $500,000 for helping us respond to Fiona. We just recently got $1 million in the December announcement that just came out. And again, that's a one-time check from government, and what we invariably do is to share that amongst the 140 agencies that we support, because they know best what they need and how can they best support the clients. But when you think about that, there's over $1 million worth of food going out the door, you can blow through that amount of money really quickly. So it's far from a solution. It is a response to the moment. It's much appreciated because, as I said, that a $2 donation allows us to get 3 meals worth of food anywhere in Nova Scotia. So, $1 million, that's $1.5 million worth of meals. I mean, that's not insignificant. But it's not the solution. What it does, it lessens the anxiety of the moment. And what I do see is not only people being more anxious this time of year, but there's also a fear element there. How are people going to cope with, the months ahead? Do you pay bills, or do you put food on the table? Do you pay your rent, or you feed your kids? Because you can't do it all. So that's the bigger issue that we need to address.
I spoke with someone with another charitable organization across the country who is asking people to reach out to their members of parliament, to reach out to the politicians. And you've advocated for this in the past, to get the message out there. And they're saying this is budget time. So why not try and have charitable organizations part of those line items? Is that something Nick Jennery can support?
Absolutely. I would be very blunt about it, and that I would ask the biggest donation that anybody can do as an organization, as an individual, young or elderly, is to call your MLA and simply ask them, what is the plan? And if you don't like what you're hearing, then follow that up and say, we want a plan. I want to see a plan, because this idea of charity supporting one of the biggest social issues that we have in our communities is not the way forward. I would love for people to put us out of work. So if you can make a plan that will enable Nova Scotia to be more food secure, if you can make that an election issue, that is one of the biggest gifts that you can do. Lend your voice to people who simply don't have a voice. There are way too many people just quietly suffering in our province. If you're food insecure, often you feel isolated, disconnected, unsupported by a community, a victim of a system that tries to help but falls a long way short. So, engage in that conversation, amplify that conversation, the biggest gift that you can ever make.
Here it is a few days before Christmas. Is it too late to donate food? Is it too late to give money, Nick?
It's never too late, Sheldon. We are open right through to Christmas Eve, and of course, we're open 5 days a week after that. So feel free to drop by. You can donate food, you can donate cash, you can come in and say hello. One of the things that you can do too is to drop into your local food bank or shelter or meal program and just say, thank you for what you do. Thank you on behalf of a grateful community. And is there something that we can do for you? Like right now, you may be surprised by what you hear. You can help maybe cook a meal or donate some socks for those who are unhoused. There's all sorts of opportunities, but we would always welcome anybody to come knocking on our door, especially if you're here to help those who frankly don't have much.
And just before we finished, I want to ask about New Year's Eve 2023, the ultimate online Nova Scotia kitchen party. What's this about?
Absolutely. Well, John Fogerty, for those who are Creedence fans, is going to be headlining this year's concert. It's a fantastic concert. I think it's 4 hours of music, fun, and story. If you want to know how to do that, you can just go on our website and you'll see a link there. And come join. It's the biggest online, it's the ultimate online kitchen party and guaranteed to be a lot of fun.
Well, Nick Jennery, I wish you nothing but success. Again, I also share that dream that someday we won't have to talk about the work that volunteers are doing to support people who are going hungry in our community.
Well, thank you so much, Sheldon, and thank you for sharing the story. And I wish you and yours all the best for the holidays. And let's make some good news stories for the new year. Let's see if we can't turn around this awful number of 1 in 6 households being food insecure. And if we can do it, as a community, as a province, you'll bring a lot of smiles to the faces of people who work at Feed Nova Scotia.
And Nick Jennery is the Executive Director of Feed Nova Scotia. Thank you again, sir.
Thanks, Sheldon. All the best.